Hey guys, and welcome back to I Want My Angst TV Reviews. I'm Sarah. In case you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment along as we discuss the Netflix original series, Grand Army. Get ready. This shit's heavy. This is your trigger warning on this show. If you are triggered by assault, if you are triggered by socioeconomical issues, if you are triggered by, this show is really hard to talk about. So Grand Army is based off of the critically acclaimed play Slut, the play, which is written by Katie Campaniello, and Katie is also the writer of the series. The play tells the story of a girl named Joey Del Marco who is raped by three of her best friends in high school, and how she came forward and charged them with the assault and the repercussions of everything. Grand Army does tell the story of Joey Del Marco and her assault, but it does also expound on it a lot and gives us four other characters who are also struggling in their own different ways, whether it's sexually, racially, socioeconomically, and all they're trying to do is become the best person that they possibly can be. And I apologize if this is not as peppy as normal, but this show was heavy, guys. This show was heavy. Okay, Grand Army hits on issues that face our kids today, as well as our kids from my generation that we didn't really talk about as much. And now with Gen Z, they're giving these issues a huge voice. One of the kids gets outed by someone as revenge at school. Another girl is your perfect victim who doesn't understand her own issues and projects everything onto someone else. One of my favorite storylines was the girl Dom, who is a young Haitian girl who is just trying to take care of her siblings, her cousins, her mom, her aunt who is injured, and even considers marrying someone for a green card because it would give her family $10,000. It's not even a lot, but for her and her family, that's life-changing money. Her storyline also covers two other kids who are just playing a prank and reach into her bag and steal her wallet, and her wallet falls down a stairwell and it's never found again. These two kids are wickedly punished, and one more so than the other. Dom doesn't even press charges, and this ignites a fire under them to show the other students who've done things that also break the rules but might not happen to be a person of color, and their punishments also don't fit the crime. We see that going on all the time, today and yesterday, and hopefully not tomorrow.
That's a school to prison pipeline.
When it comes to the original storyline of Slut for Grand Army, Joey Del Marco does get assaulted in the back of a cab by two of her best friends, while her third best friend sits by and lets it happen. In a time where young girls and adult women are not wanting to come forward because there's so much victim blaming, Joey loses everything when it comes to her coming forward about this assault, and nothing happens to the boys except for they get arrested at school. It becomes a case of she said, he said, he said, she said, because her friend won't come forward and corroborate her story. This is an unfortunate thing that happens all too often. And what I think Grand Army is trying to do is to get people to talk about these big subjects, these heavy moments in life that a lot of people are going through, and give them more of a voice, give them more of a dialogue, and to show people that they're not alone. Grand Army is very heavy-handed. There are zero moments. I was gonna say very few. No, there are zero moments of levity in this show. It is very triggering for plenty of people, myself included, but really important. When Katie Campaniello was trying to come up with a play for her student, I believe it was her students, she was talking to them about what subject matters they felt was important and what they wanted to talk about and cover. And one of the biggest ones was sexual assault, and that is where Slut comes from. So Katie Campaniello wrote the play. Her students put it on as more of a monologue-esque show, at least from the videos I can find. And now it has grown into Grand Army, a 9-episode Netflix original series that also goes on to cover other really important and heavy subject matter. Something I really thought was interesting was a handful of the actors in the show are also actors from the play. The play, Slut the Play, the show Slut the Play, has been traveling around and is used as a tool to talk about sexual assault in schools and open up a dialogue with these young kids about this really hard subject. And I really thought that was kind of neat that a couple of the actors have put on the play, a couple of them played Joey, a couple of them have played others. And for them to have the chance and the opportunity to still be a part of this really important story in a different way, I think is incredible. I thought the actors in Grand Army were fantastic. I believed them every step of the way, from the kids who were trying to act overly tough to the boys on the swim team who had no idea that they actually did anything wrong. How they had no idea. Liar! But these kids pulled it off. You hate them when you're supposed to hate them, and you root for them when you're supposed to root for them. And then you're kind of like, girl, why are you bringing all this on yourself and trying to project it onto other people? That girl drove me nuts. Anyway, when we announced that we were going to be reviewing this show, we did get a couple of questions, and I want to make sure I answer them in this review because I said that I would. I was asked if this show was as dark and heavy as Euphoria. Yes, but in a very different way, where Euphoria gives you a few moments of levity and you're living through her trauma, through her addiction. You do float along with her a little bit. But in this show, in Grand Army, there is no moments of levity. It is just piles and piles of heavy subject matter on heavy subject matter, on trauma, on trauma, on trauma. So it is very heavy, yes. I was also asked if it was graphic. And I will also compare this to Euphoria, where Euphoria is very graphic, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I don't think Grand Army is as graphic in the same way. When it comes to the assault that happens, you see it, but you don't see it. And I think it was done tastefully and in a way that still hits home and doesn't gloss over it. There's no like shoot 'em ups, there's no suicides, there's no anything like that. So yes, graphic wise, it is graphic, but really only in that moment. And then the rest of it is just digesting what's just happened and what is happening to these characters and in these characters' lives. If you have any more questions as you kind of started watching this review, or you're curious about watching this show, comment below. I am more than happy to answer it for you because this is a heavy show and it can be very triggering, and I want to make sure that everyone is ready. And if you need to talk about it with someone, talk about it with me. Something I do wish was different. I wish we did have moments of levity. Having to sit through a show that has none of that, and it's very dark, very heavy, beats you down as you watch it because you are in the trenches with these kids, is very hard to watch. It's not a binge-worthy show. Like, you are not gonna sit down and watch 9 hours of this show in one sitting. And if you do, please let me know because I could not do it. I honestly wish I had more time to get through this show because it was a lot and it affected me as I watched it.
Do you need water? Does you need to breathe in the paper bag?
And I think maybe a couple of these like reprieval moments, tiny moments of levity of some sort would have helped a lot in making it digestible. And since it is so heavy-handed and it is very much heavy subject matter on top of heavy subject matter, and you almost feel like you're drowning, I think it's not going to be as digestible as she may have hoped for this show to be for your average viewer. In the end, do I think this is an important show? Yes, absolutely. Do I think people should watch it? Yes. But do I think a lot of people are going to be open to it? No. Especially with that opening scene. If that bothers you, then, I mean, you're probably gonna check out the rest of the way, but I urge you to give Grand Army a shot. It is set up for a second season. I'm really curious to see if it pans out and if we get one. I'm not looking for a moment of redemption for a certain character, or a pat on the back, or a congratulations, or like good on you for finally doing the right thing, because you should have done it to begin with. But I am curious to see where this story goes for all of these characters, because it did end on a cliffhanger, a pretty good one for everybody. We did it! Thinking you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm Sarah. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel, thumbs up this video, comment along if you watch the show or if you're going to watch the show. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you thought about it. Until next time, make sure you hit that notification so you don't miss any more angsty videos.